Alright, welcome to another Shinobi collection video, and let's make a Kizuna tier list. So I made a god tier list last time when Kaguya came out, and we got two brand new Kizunas that came out recently, and that is Kid Naruto and Kid Sasuke, as well as Kid Sakura and Kakashi. So two brand new Kizunas, which means it's pretty much four brand new characters, so let's make a tier list of every individual version of Kizuna, starting with V1 Naruto. And before that, the normal double S to C. I'm not treating this like the other tier list, where if I put someone at S, that means they're also S in the tier list. For this one, I'm gonna make it so if you're in double S, you're probably in like double S or S plus, depending how good you are, because I'm judging them based off all the other Kizunas. I'm not judging them based off other characters, but maybe I won't. Let's see. What's a better word with it? I won't compare them to gods in GK or N-Boost, but as an enemy, the meta ones I can go over, like GK Madara is probably the most meta one, as well as Itachi and Shinobi. I think those are the only two non-Kizunas that are truly meta in this game, because Kizunas are your most important character and they're the best character in the game. So start with version 1 Naruto. What does he do? You guys don't remember what these characters do because there is a lot of them. Naruto deals 1 hit, and then he deals 2 additional attacks to red and black. And then he does stuff against GK and gods, but we don't care about that because those are special state. But the special state, I believe, disables action. And his other one is also a special state, so nothing really important. He has 2 revive, which is lower than the usual. He can go 0 cost. He's the very first Kizuna. Oh, I guess the most important thing about these Kizunas are their Kizuna skills. It's just 1 hit, and I don't even think it ignores lives. Yeah, it doesn't ignore lives. So Naruto's at C. Sasuke, when they first came out, Naruto was the one that's used. After a little while, Sasuke was the one that's being used because Sasuke was actually pretty strong. Just because he does illusion. He does the exact same thing as Naruto. He does 2 hits to blue and white instead. And then, does he remove terrain? I don't remember. I don't think he does, but they're pretty much, they do the exact same thing now. Their Kizuna skills, of course, is the same. Now we have you have Kizuna V2 Sasuke. This character, when the game first came out, he was the worst of the 2, because Itachi was the best character in the game. And Sasuke was pretty much just anti-Akatsuki, but Sasuke at the moment is actually slightly better than Itachi, because Sasuke destroys terrain, so that's an A+. Itachi he removes a special and god state, but his S1 is not always hit. That's why you ran Kizuna Sasuke V1, because Kizuna Sasuke V1 gave always hit. So that's why the combo was these two, but Kizuna Itachi didn't age well. He does 21 additional attacks, but it's only 25,000 damage, and you're not getting that to hit for 700,000 ever. And his special state don't matter. His Kizuna insta kills not Uchiha, but everyone's immune to insta kill, so that doesn't matter. And then after that, we got the anniversary character during last year. This was last year's anniversary character, which is Naruto and Minato. So we'll talk about Naruto first. So Naruto is similar to Itachi. He could be a 0 cost that cleanses God and special state. He doesn't do a lot of additional attacks. He does 9 to none, but is also 99,000. So that could probably hit 700,000 if he got like 700% skill damage. And he has a special state that I don't even count, but that gives him immortality. He has 3 revive, which is the average at this time. Nothing else important about his abilities. the main thing about him is he is a beast state user. He is the only Kizuna and also the only main team unit that's a beast user. Beast state is found in Rambus, and Rambus you don't even care about them anymore. They just extend turn. None of them are worth it, except for probably Rambu Naruto, but like you don't need them. So his gives him 9 extra additional attacks, but it's a high chance, so there's a chance that doesn't even trigger. And yeah, Naruto is an A, slightly better than Itachi, but not that good. Minato, in my opinion, is better because you can inflict minus 1000% skill damage down or minus 1000% AoE. The thing with that is, not a lot of people are immune to debuffs. Well, I think they are now, but before they weren't, so you can just hit that and you're not going to be taking any damage. He's slightly better than Naruto, but still not that useful. Then after that, we got Kizuna, Sasuke, Sakura. Sasuke is single target, so automatically C. There's nothing you can do about a single target unit. Single target. He does 3 additional attacks, and if he has his unique state, he does 3 more. They are actually the first character to bring unique state in this meta. The problem is their unique state is not that good. Sasuke's unique state is feelings for Sakura. When attacked, chance to grant instant action, and then inflicts illusion when he gets attacked, and then chance to get an extra turn. Not that strong. While Sakura's, on the other hand, is omniprotection, with a high chance to be insta-kill immunity. So Sakura is way better than them, probably better than this Sasuke. She's probably the best Kizuna at this point. But we didn't really know about it because Sasuke is garbage. And then after that, we got the I believe this is the other anniversary unit, which is Naruto and Hinata. Naruto, this character is actually seeing a lot of play today. I don't know why, but they are. Oh yeah, forgot to talk about the Kizuna skills for Sakura and Sasuke are single target, so that's awful with no additional attacks. Meanwhile, Naruto is AoE with a unique state to it that's pretty much, it consumes 2 action, I believe. I believe that's what that is. When attacked, you consume 2 actions. It's a weird one. No, when you attack them twice, you disable their action. It's weird, you never see it. But so Naruto's a DPS, he does 7 additional attacks. He can seal. If he's under, was it Naruto's feelings, which is Hinata state, so you have to rotate from Hinata to Naruto to get that. He deals 3 more, so 10 additional attacks is actually above average in his AoE. That's really strong. And his own unique state is he deals 2 more additional attacks. He's actually he is probably, compared to everyone else, is an S. But in normal tier list, he's probably around A+. He's not strong. If you have him 0 cost, he might be good enough. But if you don't have him 0 cost at this point of the meta, there's no point of running him. Hinata is the cleanser version. Cleansing nowadays is very useless. But she inflicts block state, but that's a special state, so that doesn't matter. And her unique state is omniprotection, instant action, inflict block state, and protects from AoE attacks. So it's kind of weird. The characters that were OP in the past, their other forms gets better. Like Naruto, when they first came out, was the best, and then Sasuke ended up being the better one at the end. Itachi was the best at release. The Sasuke is slightly better than Itachi now. Naruto was the best at release. Minato is the one you want to use now. Sakura has always been better because single target is garbage. And then you use Hinata in the past. But now Naruto is just better. Back then DPS didn't matter. But now, all of that matters. The reason why DPS didn't matter is because everyone did so much damage you can kill so fast. So Naruto doing a lot of damage didn't mean much because everyone else in your team is doing that much damage. But now, if you cleanse what are you cleansing? You're already disabling positive, special, and God state, so there's nothing to cleanse. So the only thing you can do now is damage, so Naruto is better now. The next one. Now we start getting into the really good Kizunas. So this is Kizuna Kakashi. Kizuna Kakashi is probably the character that changed the meta the most, just because he introduced damage limit. Damage limit is one of the best things that you can have in this game. Without damage limit, the game is unplayable. So with that, I have to put him in S+. I can't put him higher than S+, because everyone else, actually I have to put him S. And I'm just gonna have to drop down this DPS. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop down the DPS table. The reason why I have Kakashi at S, while he introduced the most game-breaking mechanic in the game, he does it worse. He does it worse than everyone else. He deals 9 additional attacks and he seals. Everyone else is better than him. His damage is slightly above average, in my opinion. 7 additional attack is average. 9 is pretty solid, but that's not how the meta is anymore. So what's after him? Obito. Obito is better than Kakashi now, because you start with, I forget the name of his unique state. What's the name of his unique state? Will to Protect. You start with Will to Protect with Obito, and you're gonna hit them with Hatred Destruction. Hatred Destruction is your disabling positive, special, and God state effect, as well as cast speed reduction. That's why Hinata is useless. You can't, there's no point of cleansing when you just disable. Disable is better than cleanse, and every meta character nowadays disables. Oh, again, happened again. Kakashi was better when it first came out. Now Obito is better. Next, Adult Naruto. Adult Naruto I need to read a bit, just because this character is never used. Kid Naruto is superior than Adult Naruto, which is, I guess, okay. It's because we need Kid Narutos in this game. We're tired of Shippuden stuff, especially the war Naruto, or like any pretty much war character. That's all we're pretty much getting from the, like, recently, and that's not. We need some diversity. So Kid Naruto being a really good unit, better than the Adult Naruto, is actually really good for us. So let's go over Adult Naruto. Deals 2 million, seals, and something else. I would translate it. Yeah, and confusion. He deals 7 additional attacks. He disables positive, special, and God state. And then 1 turn he's immune to all skills. Oh, that's not seal, that's Jutsu seal. He recovers HP, and then his unique state, which is Will of Bonds. You're immune to enemy formation. When attack damage limit to 700,000. Chance for instant action when you're also attacked, and then you regen 30%. That's really strong. And then the full revive, which is pretty much the average nowadays. They have a built-in 80% damage cut, which is really strong, and insta kill immunity, which all of these new characters will have. You're probably also an S, just because there's better characters. He's really good, but there's nothing really to talk about him. Kid Naruto does everything that he does, but better. So Kid Naruto. Kid Naruto also starts with the Will of Bonds to all parties, so that's already good. As well as he starts with the Shadow Clone state, unique state. So before we go to talk about his Shadow Clone unique state, he introduces what, in my opinion, the best way to do DPS now, and that is multicast. The reason why that's the best way is because you can abuse characters that give your party additional attack with multicast. We have 2 characters in here, which pretty much the brand new Kizunas, both of them, they give a unique state that gives you 3 penetrating additional attacks. If you multicast, that 3 becomes 6. So with this Naruto, that 3 becomes 6, but it can also become 9, because he can multicast up to 3 times, I believe. So he deals 1.5 million plus 4 additional attacks. The reason why it's 4, because you can multicast that up to 2 to 3 times. So his shadow clone state, depending on how many counters it has, you recast your attack skills. And then he has Omni Protection and Damage Cut along with it. When he first came out, he's the best DPS in the game. He'll hit you with Uzumaki Barrage because that's his S1. And he recast it again, and then he recast it again. That did so much damage without having to worry about going back to the starting, getting instant action, selecting an action again. You just cast it and you keep recasting it, then it's just so much damage. Then you can easily abuse stuff that gives you effects when you attack. It's just insane. The next is Kizuna Madara. Kizuna Madara is probably the most important character in the game. Easily double S. If you played PvP, you know what this character does. The violence was the best unique state in the game. It's a high chance to disable enemy skills. He deals 2 times damage. That doesn't matter because you're going to be doing 700,000. HP reduction minus 35%. That is important because that's equivalent to about 15 additional attacks, I believe. And then disables positive special and God state. It's just insane. And you start with Obito, switch to him. That's how you inflict pill violence to everyone. He has 4 revives. He has a built-in damage cut. So whenever they made it so you can't be hit, where you can actually remove unique state, he will always have a damage cut. Or like a damage limit. So that's very, very strong. And when you attack him, you inflict him with pill violence. Just insane. And then the end of reality, which Madara gives, you get that from Obito. Obito is an S+. Just because you never use Obito. 99% of the time, you're a Madara. The only time you get Obito is when you start with him. But if you have him Rainbow and have his rotation set to 5, or like limit to 2 turns per before you can rotate again, Obito is going to be really strong. Because his damage, pretty much the exact same thing as Madara. Don't really need to talk about that. But his end of reality unique state is the best unique state in the game. It grants instant action to Uchihas or none. Uchiha, Uchiha, Uchiha. And then the new character is Uchiha and then Uchiha over here. So it's really, really strong. And then alongside with that, speed plus 1000%. That's pretty much the basic now. Everyone has like 30k speed. Cast speed is set to flash. That really comes in handy, especially when you're fighting like Obito, GK Pain, and Itachi and Shisui. If you fight those characters, that saves you. Damage limit set to 700,000. That's amazing. And then he has, sadly, they did this so that he's not really, so he has a little bit of weakness, and his weakness is status effects. He doesn't disable status effect, he only immunes it. So characters like the brand new Kizuna, Naruto, and Sasuke adult version, they inflict paralysis at the start of battle, so that will bypass end of reality. So with that, and then after that he has Omni Protection from Illusion, Negative Special, and God State. That's probably the second best unique state of the game when it came out. And then, I haven't talked about the Kizuna skill yet. Let's just go back to Kakashi and Obito. The Kizuna skill is AoE. It gives a unique state that disables skill, cast speed set to flash, and it gives him 7 additional attacks. It doesn't do additional attacks, which means it's not gonna kill. Naruto's gonna kill. It deals 5 additional attacks, as well as making, I believe this is making them disabled instant action, use speed limit to 1000, and then disable positive special in God state. It's a really strong Kizuna skill. And then Madara is a really strong Kizuna skill, but it doesn't kill. It doesn't do additional attacks, but what it does is it insta kills non-Uchiha. The meta is Kizuna's. Kizuna's have insta kill immunity built in. Madara can't die. They can get killed from Kizuna skills. Set HP to 1, that's really good. And then speed limit, attack limit, and defense limit to 1000. It's probably worse than Kizuna Naruto. Kizuna Naruto is slightly better, but it's still really strong. After that, let's go over the next character, which is Kizuna Naruto. Kizuna Naruto is the best DPS character in the game. In my opinion, as an enemy, Naruto is better than Madara as an enemy. But for you to use, Naruto is slightly worse. It's weird, because Naruto does a lot of attacks. Naruto is still the highest DPS character in the game. He deals 2 million damage. He skips, which is everyone's gonna have skip immunity because you need to. If you don't have skip immunity, you're selling. He deals 7 additional attacks, and then he inflicts lacerate. So if you don't have Madara and you don't have any way to protect yourself from special state, you're gonna hit by lacerate or paralysis. That's in their kit. Get inflicted by that preemptive, and then his unique state. His unique state is very, very strong. When you hit a skill attack, you deal 5 penetration additional. Penetrating. So combined with his built-in 7, so that's 12 plus the base damage, so that's 13 hits. Recast skill 1. That 13 turns into 26. 26 hits. That's the most hits that you can have. I believe GK Madara also gets 26, but that means he needs to be LP5 as well as have his terrain up, and that's so much more work than just having one unique state up that can't be removed. What else does he do? It makes it a high chance if they're paralyzed. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm looking at Sasuke. I was about to say, hold up. Never mind, I was looking at Sasuke. Is that why you glitched now? So it makes him immune to all skills. Damage limits at just 700,000, and then Omni Protection. Very strong unit. And then he has a built-in enemy formation immunity, as well as starting with his state. Speed plus 1,000%. And then what I talked about earlier, preemptive, status effect, or lacerate. Really strong. Sasuke slightly worse than Naruto, but probably the best in the S+. But what does Sasuke do? He does pretty much what I said before with Naruto, except he does 6 additional attacks instead of 7. He disables positive special in God State. He inflicts paralysis instead of lacerate. His S2. This is the one that in the early games, before 100 win streak, you're going to want to start with Sasuke. Well, actually, you want to start with Sasuke. Doesn't matter what the situation is, you're going to start with Sasuke. Because the way to counter the best characters in the game right now, which is Madara, and further on, some of these characters are going to be insane. The way to counter them, rotate. Rotate to the other character. So you always want to start every battle with the worst version. So you're going to start with Obito, you're going to start with Sasuke. But when I say Sasuke is worse, it's not even like that bad, because Sasuke is insane. So Sasuke gets 6 additional attacks. And then his unique state gives him another 6, which is penetration additional attack. When he attacks a paralyzed enemy, he ignores multiple lives, which is a high chance. Damage limit, and then Omni Protection. So Naruto has 26 additional attacks, Sasuke only has 12, plus the 1 hit, so it's 13. 13 versus 26 is half than Naruto, but that's not really an issue because Sasuke, if you can get 1 life in that 13 hits, it kills him, so it doesn't matter. And then same thing as Naruto's passive about inflicting paralysis and lacerate. Their Kizuna skill is actually probably the best Kizuna skill in the game. It deals 3 million, 5 additional attacks. If you get hit, it disables skills. It makes you weak to all skills and disables positive special and God state. It's really strong. It's the best Kizuna skill so far. So that's that. Those are the characters that were already out. Now let's go over the 4 new characters. So let's start with Kakashi. Let's actually start with Kakashi, because in my opinion, Kakashi is probably the worst of the 4. But what Kakashi does is he deals 5 additional attacks. He inflicts paralysis, and then he buffs his speed. His S2 state, which is a unique state, is Team 7's leader. He has immortality. If he has a Team 7 on his team, he grants instant action to all Team 7. In my opinion, instant action is dead. So we're not even going to consider that part. Instant action as a mechanic is dead and gone. It immune to enemy formation, and then he has an Omni Cleanse when he gets attacked. I think he's the worst one of them all, but I think I'm going to put him in S+. His Kizuna skills, damage-wise, is better than Naruto. it deals 7 additional attacks instead, and then grants Lightning Fang, Teamwork Lightning Fang, to your party. What that does, it gives your party 3 penetration additional attacks. So that's what I said before. Multicast characters take advantage of that. So 26. Now you add 12. That's how much damage this Naruto would do. I say, yeah, you add 12 because the other character is also the exact same thing, and you can stack them. And then grant instant action to Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. That doesn't matter. Instant action is dead. Speed plus 1000%, and then disabled debuff status effect Genjutsu illusion, negative special and God state. This is nothing really much to say. He doesn't die, but he also doesn't do damage. The best thing about Kakashi is you can rotate to Sakura. And then let's talk about Sakura next. Sakura is weird. Sakura is a unique character. She's the only character in the game that does what she does. So let's go over what she does. Because at this moment, as I haven't made a decision yet on where I put Sakura. You could either be one of the best of these batch or the worst. She needs a lot of testing. So she inflicts skips, 9 additional attacks. Her S2 revives a random dead ally, which is really strong. Ability 1 and the usual stuff. Oh, Kakashi and Sakura instacast S2, so that's actually bad. You're gonna want to rotate when you get first strike with them, so that doesn't really matter, because they get their state when you rotate to them. So Sakura, so she already does 9 additional attacks. She deals 6 more penetration additional attacks when she uses skill attack. A chance to ignore resistance and inflict stun, and then she recasts her skill if the enemy stun. Problem with that is it's conditional status effect. People cleanse status effect like it's nothing. I don't think you're ever gonna get your recast off. That's the problem with that. So in my opinion, she's only gonna be doing 15 additional attacks. I can't count it as 30. I don't think it's gonna ever recast. I've tried her in 3v3 and never recasted. But let's continue. Enemy formation immediately when attacked. Very high chance to grant instant action and counter attack with skill 1. My opinion, that's not gonna go off. It's never gonna go off. Just because it's instant action. Instant action is dead. Disable debuff status effect Genjutsu illusion and negative special God state. So I think she just hits for 15 additional attacks. Kakashi does 5. This Kid Naruto is 4 times 3. I think it's just slightly better than Kid Naruto. Can't put her anything more. Her kit's works is insane, but I don't see her kit ever working. It's just a shame, sadly. But it needs more testing. Oh, and Sasuke went over there. Let's go over here. So this Sasuke. Go with Sasuke before Naruto. Deals 7 additional attacks, buffs his speed by 100%. High chance to inflict the Chidori state. So Naruto and Sasuke are pretty much going to be the exact same character except for their state. Sasuke does Chidori and Naruto does the Rasengan. So you inflict Chidori when you rotate to Sasuke. Insta-kill immunity, damage limit set, revive, cleanse Genjutsu debuff and status effect when attack. That's why it doesn't really matter about the stun from Sakura, because you're just going to cleanse it. Everyone has a way to cleanse it nowadays or be immune to it. And it's just that. And then when you get attacked, you inflict the Chidori state. Exact same thing for Naruto. So the only thing I'm going to talk about for Naruto is the state. Before we go to that, we're going to go to the Kizuna skill. This is the exact same thing as Kakashi, except it's a different name. It's Teamwork Friendship instead of Teamwork Lightning Fang. It does the exact same effect, so it gives 3 penetration additional attacks. If you have both, it could most likely stack. So you'll have +6. If you multicast, that's a +12. Your Kid Naruto does. If your Kid Naruto does a lot, you're gonna be recasting multiple times. So I think Enbu Jiraiya also recast twice. So if you ever get their Kizuna state off and the enemy survives, it's a lot of damage. So Sasuke's unique state. We can't compare Sasuke and Naruto to each other. because their unique state are two different things. It has two different purposes for them. Sasuke's unique state is all about damage. Naruto is all about disables. For Sasuke, he grants cut-in to Naruto or Sasuke Kizuna, which is only them. The Kid, Naruto, and Sasuke. He grants cut-in anytime the enemy acts. The reason that is so much better than instant action is because instant action is dead because of Naruto. Naruto disables instant action. Cut-in is okay. Formation doesn't even stop cut-in. So you're just gonna, if they act, you're just gonna cut in. The enemies are weak to all types. So it doesn't matter if they're what type of attack you are, unless it's fixed damage. Because fixed damage immunity is just a different type of beast. High chance to inflict skips when attacked. My opinion, all your characters should have skip immunity by now, and then disabled positive special in God state. So Sasuke is a pretty good, pretty strong S plus unit. I think I'm gonna drop down Kakashi to S just because I don't see a use for him. Cleansing is okay, but everyone else cleanse. That's why damage limit, in my opinion, is kind of dying. Damage limit unique state at least. They have it built in. They have it built in. They have it built in. Like, there's no point of giving damage limit to your team when you already have it built into your kit. So yeah, that's Sasuke. So Sasuke is all about making it so your enemies take damage, take a lot of damage, as well as making you do a lot of damage. Naruto, all about disruption. In my opinion, Naruto is probably Naruto at the moment, without PvP being out, is most likely the exact same power as Kizuna mod. So Naruto's Rasengan state consumes one action. That's illusion. That's the exact same thing as illusion. Instant action disabled. That's every character in the game has a built-in instant action. All the characters you see in this list has a built-in instant action. You disable their instant action, you save time, because the way priority works right now is the enemy is literally in auto. So the decisions that you have to make, if you and the enemy gains instant action at the same time, the enemy will go first, because the split second that the menu to select an action is, the moment you see that menu, the opponent already selected an action. So if the enemy and yourself gets the instant action, the enemy wins. If you disabled instant action, now you have priority. It's really, really strong. And then consuming one action is just disruption. And Madara, we already know about Madara's disruption. It's just insane. And alongside with that, you get plus 1000% speed, and then the disabled positive state. So the two characters in Double S, these two are all about disruptions. If you don't have disruptions in your team, you're gonna get destroyed by the enemy Kizuna skills. If you can't stop the enemy Kizuna skills from going off, you're just, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just gonna die, because Kizuna skills will 100% ignore multiple lives, as well as its penetration damage, and it's just gonna hit you. Sure, you can damage limit it, but most additional attacks, well, most of them have additional attacks. You have 7, you have 5. Sure, they have 0, but they're the least of our worries. These characters will one-shot you with their Kizuna skills. So the only way to stop it is Pale Violence in the past. And Pale Violence, I don't know if you played PvP last game, it's not reliable. Most of the time you'll stop it, but that one instance where it goes through, it's a game changer. So that's why Naruto is really strong. Consume one action is guaranteed. So this is a guaranteed disruption. The reason why I have mod them equal to each other is because Madara's end of reality state is just that thing that every team needs. You need that protection from special and God state. Not really God state, but more special state. If you're not immune, if you don't have Madara these characters don't have special state immunity. And the thing you gotta worry about special state is Naruto. He has Lacerate. The Lacerate will disable your action. So that's why Madara is good. You need someone to disable that preemptively. It's either Madara or Kakashi. But Madara is slightly better because of Pale Violence. Not even slightly better, it's a lot better. Pale Violence. And yeah, that is your Kizuna tier list. Going over this one more time, trying to see if I want to move someone. I want to probably put. Actually, a moment. Kid Naruto. I think Kid Naruto is better than these two. At the moment, it's hard to say because if Sakura really is getting disabled her counterattacks, then there's really no point of running her. But easily the best Kizunas in the game are these three, and it's not even a question. And yeah, that should be the meta for this PvP. You should be seeing this every single fight. These three, and then whatever else is left. With that, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.